Find the derivative of f of t equals 4t plus 8 square root of t all over t squared. Then evaluate f prime of 9. F of t here is made up of the quotient of two functions, the division of two functions, 4t plus 8 square root of t all over t squared. Because I have a quotient, one option is the quotient rule. Another option, because we have a single term in the denominator, it's not added or subtracted with any other terms, is to take the quotient directly and avoid having to use the quotient rule. And so we're going to do that. We can rewrite each of these terms over that common denominator of t squared. Now we have t's in the numerator and denominator. We're going to want to combine those. Because it's division, it's a quotient, we will be subtracting exponents. I'm going to want to take that second fraction and rewrite that square root of t as a fractional exponent. So I have 4t over t squared, and I have plus 8 square root of t to the first power. It's t to the first power and second root, t to the 1/2 over t squared. F of t can now be rewritten by subtracting exponents when you have division for t to the first power, 1, and then because of the division, minus the 2. Plus 8t to the 1/2, and then because of the division, again, minus 2. You always subtract exponents for divisions. Now the subtraction for that second term in the exponent, I'll need a common denominator, so I'm going to multiply that 2 by 2 over 2. And we can think of that 2 as a 2 over 1 to help us get a common denominator. 4t to the 1 minus 2, which is negative 1, plus 8t to the 1/2 minus 2 times 2 for the numerator is minus 4 over 1 times 2, which is 2. And I now have 4t to the negative 1 plus 8t to the 1 minus 4, negative 3/2. There's f of t rewritten so that I have terms that are being combined by addition. I can work out the derivatives separately and add the results, and each of them are a power rule. Now let's take the derivative. F prime of t is going to equal 4 times bring the negative 1 down and subtract 1 from the negative 1, which will be t to the negative 2, plus 8 times bring the negative 3/2 down, and then t raised to the subtract 1 from the exponent, which will be a minus 2/2. Now let's multiply the coefficients. 4 times a negative 1 is a negative 4, t to the negative 2. And then that 8 we can think of as an 8 over 1. 8 times a negative 3 is a negative 24 over a 1 times 2, which is a 2. T to the negative 3 minus 2, which is negative 5 over the common denominator of 2. Now that 24 and that 2 can cancel down. 24 is divisible by 2 to give us a 12. I'm now going to rewrite by moving the negative exponents to the denominator so they can be called a positive exponent. Negative 4, don't move that, but t to the negative 2 will be t to the positive 2 in the denominator. Minus 12, don't move that, but t to the negative 5/2 will be t to the positive 5/2 in the denominator. There's our f prime of t. The next thing to do is to evaluate f prime of 9. F prime of 9 will be negative 4 over 9 squared minus 12 over 9 to the 5/2. Now 9 squared is 81, so negative 4 over 81. and then minus 12 over 9 to the 5 halves. That means the square root of 9 to the 5th power. And we can do the root before the power if we want. The square root of 9 is a 3, so we can write this as 3 to the 5th power. Now 3 to the 5th power is pretty big, but one thing we can do to keep our numbers a little bit smaller is that 12 in the numerator is divisible by one of the 3. So I can cancel one of the 3's from the denominator, leaving 4 of them by taking a 3 out of here, leaving a 4 up there. So I have negative 4 over 81 minus 4 over 3 to the 4th. 3 to the 4th power, 3 times 3 is 9, times another 3 is a 27, times one more 3 is an 81. So I have negative 4 over 81 minus 4 over 81. It's already over a common denominator. We can combine those. Minus 4 is negative 8 over 81.